Good morning, students. I'm back again with English recorded classes for you. Hope you all have read the lesson that was being taught in the previous class. Let's see what we will be doing in today's class then. Let's get started. Before we start today's class, let me brief you about today's content. We will do a recap of what we learned in the previous class and we will continue the lesson, The Soldier's Son. We will also look into some vocabulary, then of course grammar, a small chapter which is noun clause. We will summarize all what we have learned and last of all we will look into your assignment, what has to be done for your classwork and homework. So let's get started. Before we continue the lesson, let's do a quick recap of what we learned in the previous class. We saw that a plane was moving in the wrong direction and it was shaking. And before it crashed to the ground, there was a fire-like object which fell to the ground. And that was like a flower, which was a parachute, and a man just glided down to the ground. Now, all this, a boy who was about 10 to 12 years was watching, and he also did see that the plane was shot by the enemies. Now, the boy came out from the group of trees and he went near the pilot and said, "Come, sir, the enemy will be here any moment. There is no time to waste. There's an army camp nearby." So the pilot tried to get up, but unfortunately he couldn't and he fell to the ground because his leg was fractured. So he tells the boy, "Can you do something for me?" Now let's see if the boy does what the pilot asks him to do or no. All right? Let's turn to page number 18, children. And while I'm reading, I want you all to toss your finger through. The child could see it was with great effort that the man could talk. "Yes, sir, I will do anything you want." "You are small. Better don't take a chance," he muttered under his breath. "Not a chance, sir, a certainty. What do you want me to do?" The man's hands were bleeding. He fumbled inside his pocket and took out a packet of papers. "Take this to the commanding officer of the army unit," he said. "Tell him this must reach the Air Force Station Ambala by night. Tell him to take care of it and make sure it reaches Ambala on time. Now, run for your life. You must avoid the enemy." "Yes, sir, I will do it. But you? The enemy will catch you." "Don't worry about me. I can escape. I will try and distract them. You run and hand over the packet." "Yes, sir," said the boy with a smart salute. The man could not help smiling, although he was grimacing with the pain of his injuries. He began to crawl away from the boy in the opposite direction. The small figure streaked across the open space back to the trees from which it had emerged. The enemy, however, had seen him. A few of them gave a chase and shot at him. The cartridges fell everywhere around him. The child ran fast and was lost out to sight. The enemy gave up and turned their attention to the crawling figure of the pilot. A few minutes later, the boy stood at the sentry post of the army unit. "Take me to the Commander Sahib. There is something I have to deliver to him." Children, I read page 18 for you all. Now let me explain what it is all about. Now we saw that the pilot asked the little boy, "Can you do something for him?" And the little boy could see that the pilot was making great effort to talk. So he said, "I will do anything for you." But the pilot murmured softly, You're too small, don't take a chance. But the boy, with confidence, said, Don't worry, I will do. So the pilot immediately put his bleeding hands into the pocket and took out a packet of papers. He gave it to the little boy and said, Take this to the commanding officer at the army unit and tell the commanding officer that this should reach the Air Force Station Ambala by night. What did he say? He said that these papers should reach the Air Force Station Ambala by night. And he also told the little boy, after giving it, run for your life. Now here, run for your life means run as fast as you can so that you don't get caught with the enemy. Then the little boy asked the pilot, what about you, sir? So the pilot said, don't worry about me. I will try and distract them. Distract them means I will try and divert them, but you run and hand over this packet. The little boy gave a big salute to the pilot, and when the boy saluted, the pilot, even though he was in pain, he just smiled at him, and the boy ran as fast as he could, and the pilot crawled in the opposite direction. Now what happened? The enemies were watching this boy. The moment the boy started running, they tried to chase him, but they couldn't. They even tried to shoot him, but still they couldn't succeed. The boy ran away into the clumps of the trees, and the enemies knew that they couldn't catch the boy, so they went into the direction where the pilot was crawling. Now the little boy ran as fast as he could, and within few minutes he landed at the sentry post of the army unit, and he told the Sipai there, Sipai means the soldier, take me to the commanding Sahib. Commanding Sahib means the commanding officer, because he has something to deliver to him. We'll stop till here, children. This is what we read. Hope you all have understood till here. Now, for all those who do not know how a commanding officer looks, I have put up a picture. The first one is, this is how a commanding officer looks. The second one is an Air Force station. The third one is the Sipahi at the army unit. And the fourth one is the empty cartridges, the bullet cartridges. All right. Hope you all have understood clearly now. Now let's see how to frame sentences, children. You all can frame any sentence with these words, but it should make sense. Now first let's look at the meaning of the words. Crashed means to collide. Emerged, to be visible. Wounded, injured. Collapsed, fall down. Fractured, it could be a cracked bone or a broken bone. Either your hand or leg, anything. Now crashed. The cars crashed into each other. Emerged, the moon emerged from behind the clouds. Wounded, how was he wounded? Collapsed, I almost collapsed to the ground. Fractured, he had an accident and fractured his leg. Clear, children? Here are some synonyms for your children. Now, what are synonyms? Synonyms are similar words. The first one, allowed, permitted, rescue, save, bravery, courage, sepoy, soldier, afraid, scared. Let's move on to grammar, a small chapter which is noun clause. Now we all know what a noun stands for, isn't it? Now, what is a clause then? A clause is a group of words that functions as one part of speech and that includes a subject and a verb. What is a clause? I repeat once again. A group of words that functions as one part of speech and that includes a subject and a verb. So what is noun clause? A noun clause is a group of words that include a subject and a verb and that functions as a noun. Noun clause usually begins with words like how, what, whatever, when, whenever, where, wherever, which, whom, whomever, etc. Let's look at these examples over here. Whatever you wish is my command. Now, the subject is you, the verb is wish. So, whatever you wish will become the noun clause. Very clear, children? Let's look at example 2. I know where the treasure is. Now, what's the subject here? The treasure. What's the verb here? Is. So what is the noun clause in this sentence? It is where the treasure is. Easy to understand, children? Let's move on then. Let's quickly summarize all what we learned today. We started off with the recap of the previous session. Then I continued the lesson on page 18. I read the lesson for you all and explained it. We did look into some vocabulary, which is some synonyms, and we also learned how to frame sentences, and we did learn what is noun clause. Isn't it, children? What's this now? Any guesses? No? Don't worry. It's time for me to ask questions, and you will either type the answers and send it to me, or you will write the answers and send it to me. And the first person who sends the answers to me will receive a round of applause in the group. So are you all ready? Okay, the first question. What does he muttered under his breath means? He muttered under his breath. What does this mean? The second one. Where should the packet of papers reach and by when? Where should the packet of papers reach and by when? What did the pilot tell the boy when he asked, "What about you, sir?" What did the pilot tell the boy when he asked, "What about you, sir?" The fourth one. Where did the boy run? Where did the boy run? And what did the boy tell the sepoy at the sentry post? What did the boy tell the sepoy at the sentry post? Give an example sentence for noun clause. Give an example sentence for noun clause. Waiting for your answers, children. Before I wind up today's session, let me tell you what you'll have to do for your classwork and homework. Children, notes will be shared in the group. See that you'll copy it exactly the way I have written. Once again, I repeat, see that you'll write it exactly the way I have written. And for your homework, do the exercise on page 25 and 26 in the reader itself. Once again, I'm repeating, children, do the given exercise on page 25 and 26 in the reader itself. Do not do prefix and suffix since I haven't taught you. All right, we will do prefix and suffix tomorrow in Zoom. Okay, children, hope everything is clear, and if at all you have any doubt, please feel free to call me or message me from morning 7 till evening 8. And until we meet tomorrow, this is Ma'am Anna signing off. Take care, be safe, and bye-bye.